Hello, everyone. Hello. I'm Ryan, the interim DM of the Dungeons and Dragons group in Penang, Georgetown Dragons. I play a lot of characters with Kenn. I think you would have seen the character I played in Sonus Factorum. I played Malachi, and then I played Elizabeth, both wizards. So I think you see a theme going on with what I do. So welcome to Everfall. And in Everfall, just like Elizabeth and Malachi, magic is king. And it's also one of the worst things that can happen in this world. So I welcome you to the very first session of Everfall. Welcome to Ruination. But before we get into session 1, obviously, we are going to have a little bit of a talk about the lore, give a little bit of an exposition, because it seems like I'm very shitty. I'm really bad at data storage. So I lost the first session, second session, and the third session. So we're going to start at the 4th session. So I think it's only right if I give an exposition so that when everyone starts watching the 4th session, they don't go, what? What are you doing? What's going on? Who's this? What's going on? Why? So, here is the exposition for Ruination set in the Third Age. This partially desecrated landmass of a continent that's seen and still harbors unfathomable horrors in the abandoned mines, forgotten forests, and ruined castles of the north and east. The year is 20 of the Third Age, an age after the defeat of Vecna, the Lich King, after almost destroying Everfall, and most recently, the fall of Malachi, who took up Vecna's mantle as the second Dark Lord. Now, the second Dark Lord, Malachi, was influential throughout the creation of these gems, which corrupted those who touched them and used their gems through temptation. Thus, Everfall will never know the joy and pleasure of peace and serenity. Why did I write that? It means the same thing. But his plans were foiled when the well-known and famous legend tree from Imperium sought out the damned necromancer and put an end to his evil machinations. The legend tree were known as Anduriel, Glorfindel, and Azazel. But the gems slowly corrupted the legend tree even after Malachi had fallen. Azazel, once loyal friend of Glorfindel and Anduriel, whom were married, murdered them. The great warriors of Imperium became no more. Azazel had thus become the third Dark Lord and had since waged war on Imperium in the former fortress of Malachi in Trenon. But all this is according to Imperium. But our story does not begin in the grand halls of Imperium, nor the shiny glittering pillars of Angel City, or even the great pillars of Thundermere. It begins in the humble city that was once a gleaming city of hope in Everfall during the Second Age, but now hope and heroes are but a myth within these thatched houses of old, wilting castle walls, kingless for decades in the Pirate Hole Tavern. That is where our story begins.
Everfall.壁に軽い熱が入ったり徐々に自分の弱さを見せて、しかし私の信仰を揺るがされたのではなく砕かれました。内側は木の葉のように震えてますか。ライオンに変身守らなければなりません。彼らを失望させるわけにはいかない。当てな手を貸してください。守らなければなりません。彼らを失望させるわけにはいかない。当てな権限を貸してください。何度や不安から託し真実をつかみましょう。未来はあなたの手の中にあります。ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい。私は十分に強くありません。しかしだからこそ生き残らなければありません。Forever for
Welcome everybody. Welcome to Ruination Session 1. Now, we begin our story in Everfall, in a humble city of Kirin. We are introduced to a small party in a tavern called the Pirate Hole. We have two siblings, Nathrak and Naruk, both played by Kenn and Akila respectively. They are both half orc. One is a fighter, and one is a rogue. Now, let's start with these two characters as they are introduced initially. Nathrak seems like a very steadfast person of honor, valor. His sister, however, is a little bit on the rebellious side. She finds any occasion or any opportunity to stick her fingers into someone's pocket in the non-sexual way and pull out a few gold coins if she could. Then we are then introduced to our two other player characters, Stegah and Yarnturr, both played by Roger and Alex respectively. Now, their introduction was rather interesting because I just remember Stegah kicking down the door and saying hello, and Stegah spoke with a Russian accent almost. Now Stegah, we'll start with Stegah. Stegah is Shadakai, which is a devout follower of the Raven Queen, hailing from Shadowfell. She's also a paladin. Then next we have Yarnturr. Yarnturr is a barbarian, played by Alex, very fitting. A drow with a large great sword. Now, Yarnturr is a person that acts dumb at times in the early stages, but soon develops. But this is a story for another time. So they meet, they talk, and Naruk apparently tries to steal a bit of gold off Yarnturr. But Stegah notices this and stops Naruk, saying, "Is this how it's going to be in the party?" Nathrak tries to quell the incident by buying them a couple of ales to make up for it, saying, "Hey, everything can be better if we just chill." So the bar maiden brings a couple of ales over to the party, and soon, before she could put the ales down onto their table, an arrow hits her in the head. Instantly, the bar maiden dies. Everyone is shook, and that's where we find out the tavern is being attacked by a gang of goblins and their leader. Now, the party springs into action immediately. They fight off the goblins and their leader in the tavern. They win easily. And they come out from the tavern and find out that Kirin, the entire city, was ransacked by the group of goblins, and there are people saying that they saw drows with them too. This begs the question, what were goblins and drows doing? And why did they only take the women and children? So the party met with Captain Rex. Captain Rex is one of the leaders of Kirin, who hides his secret that we will never find out. Tells them, please, retrieve our hostages, retrieve the women and children, and he will pay them a beautiful reward. Now, so the party decided, okay, why not? So they went there, and they were approached by the town's guard, Andrew. So they were tasked to eliminate the bandits. The town says the bandits are called the Violet Dawn. The party journeyed to find the first outpost where the Violet Dawn may be situated. And this is a place that was desecrated centuries ago by an ancient dragon. But this is also where they meet their first DMPC, an unlikely acquaintance named Haley, who bore the ring of Anduril after a history check by one of the players. She came to the same outpost looking for her lost sister, saying that Zakovia was also raided, and she was from Zakovia apparently. So she joined the party, and on their rescue mission, the party tried to sneak into this outpost that they found. But if I remember correctly, Stegah was a paladin, and paladins are not really known for stealth. So with the metal clanging onto each other, they alerted the bandits inside the outpost, and immediately they had to get into an encounter. The party again had to make quick work of the bandits, but beyond the statue, they see a statue of a monk. But then also, a door in the outpost opened up, and someone familiar to Nathrak appears out of the dark. And that is session 1.